Is your morning drink what people around the country have been calling diabetes in a cup?
Start with that 22 sugar. And sugar. Did that 12 caramel in there? Comes caramel in.
Not a drink, but
Diabetes in a cup. Today, I'm exposing 10 drinks so many of us are drinking that are quietly destroying your mood, energy levels, and metabolic
Perfect
health.
is this section. Paradise for beverage consumers. Oh man.
One of the sugariest things you
So
can
this
drink.
is kind of like 8 Krispy Kreme
My
donuts.
favorite childhood dessert.
Okay, we're officially in the healthier section. Naked green machine.
Now, I used to start every morning with a naked green machine. It seems healthy, right? All that fruit, those vitamins. Then I checked the label, 53 grams of sugar, more than 2 Snickers bars, or the equivalent of 5 Krispy Kreme donuts. But here's what's even worse, because that sugar was liquid and not packaged with fiber like it is with real fruit. It was like a tidal wave of glucose flooding my body and fructose straight into my liver. And most of us are overloading our systems with sugar like this all the time. The average American consumes 17 teaspoons of added sugar every single day, and half of it comes from beverages. So today I'll reveal 10 common drinks with more sugar than candy bars and how to swap them out, plus a calculation that will blow your mind about what happens when millions of us make just one simple change. So let's dig in. Now let me explain why that fruit juice or your venti frappuccino is metabolically worse than eating a Snickers bar. Now when you eat solid food, you chew. Chewing releases satiety signals and enzymes. The food mixes with the stomach acid, slows down, and absorbs gradually. But when you drink sugar, there's zero chewing, zero fiber, zero fat to slow that absorption down. Now, liquid sugar hits your bloodstream faster than harder and solid food, causing sharper insulin spikes and can also lead to larger dips that can cause cravings, fatigue, and mood issues. And because liquid calories don't trigger satiety in the same way, you don't eat less to compensate, creating a dangerous double hit. Metabolic stress from glucose surges plus caloric overconsumption, both of which can drive insulin resistance. Okay, so now let's name names. I pulled nutrition data straight from the brand websites so we can see exactly what we're drinking, and I'll compare each one to a standard Snickers bar, which has around 25 to 28 grams of sugar. So here are the top 10 liquid sugar traps. At number 10, Gatorade Thirst Quencher, a 20-ounce bottle, 34 grams of sugar, 8.5 teaspoons, and 1.4 Snickers bars. And it's marketed for athletes. Most of us are drinking it sitting at a desk. 9 is Coca-Cola, 20-ounce bottle, 65 grams of sugar, that's 16 teaspoons, and 2.6 Snickers bars. Number 8, Dunkin' medium frozen coffee flavored at 84 to 120 grams. It varies by the swirl, and 3.5 to 5 Snickers bars. Then we even have something like Red Bull, number 7 energy drink, a 16-ounce can, 51 grams of sugar. That's 12.8 teaspoons and over 2 Snickers bars. Number 6 is Starbucks Grande, 16-ounce white chocolate mocha, 47 grams of sugar, 10 teaspoons of sugar, and 1.7 Snickers bars. And number 5, the Naked Green Machine, at 15.2-ounce bottle, 53 grams of sugar, 13 teaspoons, and 2.1 Snickers bars, but it says no sugar added on the front. And yes, it's juice, so maybe slightly less dangerous, but still a huge amount of natural sugar. Number 4, Starbucks Venti Caramel Ribbon Crunch Frappuccino, 78 grams of sugar, 19 teaspoons, and 3.1 Snickers bar. Number 3 is McDonald's Large Chocolate McCafe Shake at 106 grams of sugar, 26.5 teaspoons of sugar, and 4.2 Snickers bars. Then we have number 2, Dairy Queen Large Royal Ultimate Choco Brownie Blizzard. That's 148 grams of sugar, 37 teaspoons, and almost 6 Snickers bars at 5.9. Number 1 is Dunkin' Donuts Large Frozen Chocolate and Triple Mocha Swirl. This has 165 grams of sugar, which is 41 teaspoons, and that is 6.6 Snickers bars. So do you notice a pattern? All of these drinks equals or exceeds the sugar in a candy bar, and they don't fill you up. You often sip them mindlessly, and because they're liquid, they spike your blood sugar faster than most candy. So all right, let's get practical now. Here's exactly what to order at every major chain to get all the flavor and pleasure without the metabolic damage over time. So at Starbucks, We're gonna get one of the sugariest things you can drink, and also something that's a great alternative and has very little sugar, but is still delicious. Hi, can I get a grande iced caramel frappuccino?
You said a grande caramel frappuccino?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And then also, can I get a grande Americano with a splash of almond milk and 1 pump of sugar-free vanilla flavoring? Thank you so much, you too. Bye. Okay. So here is the grande caramel frappuccino. I think we're looking at around 80 grams of sugar. So this is kind of like 8 Krispy Kreme donuts, or maybe, 3 Snickers bars almost. Should I taste it?
Yeah,
It's just a lot. Yeah, I don't drink sugar like this, so it will be interesting. But we'll see. Yeah, I mean, it tastes very little coffee, lots of sugar, and of course it's delicious. But definitely I know it would make me feel terrible just a few hours later. So I'll just let that be at one sip. And the second one we've got here is our Grande Americano. So we have 1 little splash of almond milk, which if you don't know, almost all almond milk will be sweetened. And so there will be a little sugar in that. This isn't sugar-free. And there'll also be some 1 pump of sugar-free vanilla. So the only sugar in here technically, other than artificial sugar, will be the probably sweetened almond milk. Oh, see, that tastes coffee. That tastes like coffee, and that tastes just a little sweet. Like this is something you could drink and feel good, and it's also like not overpowering. I think this is nice balanced sweetness. See, that I like. That's good. You could also get something like cold brew, black, or with a splash of heavy cream, which actually adds richness and under 1 gram of sugar, or ask for half pumps or 1 pump of any syrup, and this cuts sugar by 50 to 75%. There's also sugar-free syrups available like vanilla and cinnamon dolce. At Dunkin' Donuts, rather than the large frozen coffee with flavor or the medium caramel swirl, try ordering the cold brew, unsweetened, for 0 grams of sugar, and ask for almond milk or oat milk, which is 3 to 5 grams of natural sugar added, or an iced coffee, black, or add your own monk fruit or stevia. Flavor shot instead of the flavor swirl can also be a good option because the shots are sugar-free extracts and the swirls are liquid sugar. And at Dairy Queen, rather than the large blizzard or the large chocolate shake, my favorite childhood dessert, Oreo Blizzard. And it comes in at about 120 grams of sugar. So that's like 5 Snickers bars or maybe, 12 Krispy Kreme donuts. So pretty crazy. And then here we have a nice little DQ vanilla cone. It's a very acceptable swap. This has about 25 grams of sugar. Now, other alternatives that I love are my other childhood favorite. When I started to get familiar with sugar and why it mattered and how I wanted to consume less, I would get the Star Kiss. This is pretty good. Still so fun. Even creamier than I remember, but still delicious. Now the Star Kiss has about 17 grams of sugar, so even less than a little cone, and it's still super tasty. And a new favorite for my little guy is the reduced sugar dilly bar. This is something you can get 0 grams of added sugar per serving, still pretty delicious, and only, sugar alcohol, 4 gram total carbs, but much better than most other things in terms of its sugar, and I would say still very delicious. Or you could share a small blizzard with a friend to cut your sugar intake in half. Now fast food, McDonald's, Burger King, etc. Rather than ordering a large Coke, 65 grams of sugar, or a McCafe frappe, try something like an unsweetened iced tea or a black iced coffee, water or sparkling water. Many chains now actually carry this. Now, if you want some sweetness, try Diet Coke or Coke Zero. This actually doesn't have sugar. It does use artificial sweeteners, which I think come with their own concerns, but they're far better, probably metabolically, than sugar. Now, for sports and energy drinks, try not ordering the Gatorade at 20 ounces, which is 34 grams of sugar, or the Red Bull, which is 52 grams, and try instead a Gatorade Zero, a Powerade Zero, or something with no sugar, but still contains the electrolytes. You can also try sugar-free Red Bull or Monster. These don't have sugar at all, and they have the same caffeine. Or you can make a homemade electrolyte drink with water, a pinch of sea salt, a squeeze of lemon, and liquid stevia. Now for the healthy juices.
Okay, we're officially in the healthier section, but this guy, I used to drink it every morning without fail.
Says no sugar.
But then 49 grams. It's crazy. That's over, almost 2 Snickers bars, almost 5 Krispy Kreme donuts. And yes, it's juice, but all of that fiber is removed. And so you're essentially just getting liquid sugar and liquid fructose in huge amounts.
Instead, you can eat whole fruit. An apple has about 19 grams of sugar plus fiber that slows it down. You can also try sparkling water plus a splash of 100% cranberry juice. Okay, now here are some general rules for coffee shops. Size down. Get the tall instead of the venti. That can save 20 grams of sugar. Skip the whipped cream. That saves about 5 to 10 grams. Use cinnamon or cocoa powder for flavor. This is 0 sugar. Bring your own monk fruit or stevia drops. I actually keep a small bottle in my bag. And last but not least, here are my go-to for at-home swaps. Now, instead of a Frappuccino, blend cold brew or Paleo Valley's bone broth protein plus ice and make an absolutely delicious protein drink in the morning. You can also add coconut milk or almond milk, and it literally tastes like a milkshake, only has 0 grams of sugar and 13 to 26 grams of protein. Instead of Gatorade, you can try Paleo Valley electrolyte packets in water. Again, very low sugar, natural sugar option, or another high quality electrolyte powder that is sugar free. And instead of energy drinks, try black coffee or green tea, or again, our greens powder. And the pattern is every swap saves you 20 to 80 grams of sugar per drink. And if you drink 2 sugary drinks a day and swap both, you're avoiding over 100 grams daily. That's 25 teaspoons of sugar, 3 full cups a week, over 150 cups a year, and that's 37 pounds of sugar not entering your body annually. So here's my challenge to you. Swap 1 sugary drink per day for just 30 days, just 1. Track how you feel, and I promise you'll notice more stable energy, no 3 p.m. crashes, less bloating, clearer thinking, and over months, probably weight loss, better skin, and maybe even lower inflammation. And here's what it gets really cool. So let's zoom out for a minute. According to the CDC, the average American adult consumes 17 teaspoons of added sugar per day, and half of that, or 8.5 teaspoons, comes from beverages. Now, imagine, what if we each replaced just 1 added sugary drink with water or unsweetened tea? Say we swap out a 20-ounce Coca-Cola, so 65 grams less per day equals 455 or 1 pound of pure sugar per week, and in a month, that's over 4 pounds. If even 10% of American adults made this one swap, that's 1.35 billion pounds of sugar. Now, what about disease? Now, large prospective studies show that each additional serving of sugar-sweetened beverages is associated with an 18% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes, even after accounting for body weight. And those that drank the most sugar-sweetened beverages had a 26% increased risk. But here's where it gets even more interesting. More sugary drinks, sodas, sweetened coffees, fruit juices contain fructose, and fructose is handled almost exclusively by your liver. Experimental research suggests that excess fructose can contribute to the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by driving fat production in the liver, or de novo lipogenesis, raising triglycerides and promoting insulin resistance over time. Bottom line, liquid sugar is absorbed faster, bypasses satiety cues, and uniquely stresses your liver. That's why study after study links sugary drinks, but not candy bars, to obesity, diabetes, and even an increased risk of cardiovascular disease and maybe even mortality. In fact, a 2025 analysis revealed that in 2020, 2.2 million cases of type 2 diabetes and 1.2 million new cases of cardiovascular disease worldwide were due simply to the consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages. And it can also negatively impact brain function. Researchers also shown sugar-sweetened beverages may lower brain volume and performance in just a few weeks, raise the risk of depression, even suicidality, and there may even be an inverse association between the number of sugar-sweetened beverages a mom drinks during pregnancy and her child's IQ at ages 3 and 7. Large meta-analysis found that each Daily serving of sugary drinks raises the risk of type 2 diabetes by 10 to 30% depending on the study. So in the United States, about 1.4 million new cases of type 2 diabetes are diagnosed each year. So if 10% are attributable to these sugar-sweetened beverages, that's 140,000 cases a year. So if we cut this sugar-sweetened beverage intake significantly, we could potentially prevent tens of thousands of new diabetes diagnoses annually, along with associated heart disease, kidney disease, and healthcare costs, estimated at $327 billion a year for diabetes in the United States. This is just one drink, one swap, and millions of lives changes. So the science is clear. Liquid sugar is uniquely dangerous. It bypasses your body's natural defenses, floods your liver, and drives the chronic diseases that are killing us. But the solution is pretty simple. It's not always easy, but it's pretty simple. Replace one drink today. Your liver, your mood, your energy levels will thank you, and your future self will definitely thank you. So drop a comment, tell me which one you're gonna swap first, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe now for science-backed health truths. I'll see you in the next video. Now go drink some